You ever walk into a room and feel like the weight of the world just walked in with you? Like your back's got bricks on it, but nobody else can see? Yeah, I know that feeling. But let me tell you something. Real strength, mental strength, doesn't show up in how loud you are or how many people clap when you win. It shows up when nobody's watching, when you're tired, when you're scared, when you're scared, when you're scared, when everything in you says give up, but you don't. You want to be mentally strong? Then take notes, because I got 6 habits, 6 weapons, that'll make your mind unbreakable. All right, sit back. Let me talk to your spirit for a second. You want to be strong? Not just look strong, not just sound strong. I'm talking about strength of the mind. Strength when the lights go off, when the phone stops ringing, when there's no one there to pat your back. That kind of strength, it ain't loud, it don't need attention, but you feel it. You feel it in the way a person walks through the fire and don't flinch. You feel it in the way they keep going, even when their legs don't want to move no more. That kind of strength, that comes from the inside, and it's built, day by day, with habits, 6 of them. Now I'm not talking magic, I'm not talking fairy tales, or shortcuts, I'm talking grit, I'm talking decisions. You want to be mentally strong? Then listen close. First thing they do, they master their emotions. Now don't get it twisted. That don't mean they don't feel. Oh, they feel. Deep. They feel pain, heartbreak, loss, betrayal. But the difference is, they don't let it run the show. They don't hand over the steering wheel to their emotions. They don't let anger blow up the bridge, or let sadness sink the ship. They feel it. They respect it. But they don't let it lead, because they know, emotions are messengers, not masters, signals, not shackles. You ride the wave, or the wave rides you. And when that pain shows up, 'cause it will, they don't numb it. They don't run to the bottle, or the screen, or someone else's arms, just to escape it. They sit with it. They ask it questions. They learn from it. Because on the other side of that pain is power. Second thing they do, they embrace discomfort. See, the world taught you to chase comfort. Easy job, easy life, easy out. But nothing real is built in comfort. Comfort is the enemy of growth, pressure, stress, grind. That's the gym for your soul. You want to grow? You gotta hurt a little. You gotta stretch past what's safe. Because the muscle of your mind, it grows through resistance. Mentally strong people, they walk into the storm. They don't wait for clear skies. They train in the rain. Because they know, the storm is what sharpens the steel. Third, and this is big, they speak life. Their words, heavy. They don't throw around, I can't. I'm not good enough. What if I fail? No, they speak power. They say, I got this. I'll find a way. Even when they don't see the way, they speak like it's already there. Because your mind, it listens. Every word you speak, it builds a blueprint. So mentally strong people build castles, not cages, with their words. Fourth, they protect their space. Let me say it clearly. You don't let just anybody walk through your life with muddy shoes. Mentally strong people, they set boundaries. They know their peace is priceless. They say no, not to be rude, but to be right with themselves. They don't argue with fools. They don't beg for love. They don't waste time proving their worth to people who refuse to see it. Because their time, their energy, their focus, it's sacred. And you can't build a kingdom if your gates are wide open to chaos. Fifth habit, they don't run from failure. They study it. They dissect it. They eat it. Every no, every stumble, every setback, that's the curriculum. That's the university of champions. They don't sit in the failure. They don't throw a pity party. They look at that loss and say, all right, what's the lesson? Because mentally strong people, they ain't scared to fail. They're scared to stop trying. They don't measure their worth by trophies. They measure it by resilience. And finally, they stay locked in, eyes forward, mind focused. They don't get thrown off by distractions, by trends, by noise. They ain't out here looking for applause. They know their mission, and whether the crowd is cheering or quiet, they keep moving. Because when you're mentally strong, your vision is louder than opinions, louder than doubt, louder than fear. They wake up with purpose. They go to bed with purpose. They breathe it. They bleed it. Not because it's easy, but but because it's who they are. Now I want you to really hear this. Mental strength. It ain't born, it's built. It's a decision. 1,000 small choices, made when it's hard, when it's inconvenient, when no one's watching. It's waking up and choosing not to fold, even when everything in you wants to. So you want to be mentally strong. Good. Start now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. Don't wait for someone to save you. No one's coming. You are the one. You're the hero of this story. And those 6 habits, that's your training ground. Master your emotions. Embrace discomfort. Speak life. Protect your peace. Learn from the losses. Stay focused on the mission. Do it again, and again, and again. That's how legends are made. Now go out there, and earn your strength. Alright, lean in. You want to know what separates those who wish for strength from the ones who build it? It's this right here. Yeah. Their relationship with discomfort. Now I ain't talking about a little inconvenience, like the Wi-Fi's down or your coffee came out cold. Now, I'm talking about real soul-grinding discomfort. The kind that squeezes your chest, makes you question everything you thought you knew. That kind. Most people, they run from it. They hide behind easy choices. They look for shortcuts, soft spots, the path of least resistance. But not the strong, not the ones who rise. See, when mentally strong people feel that tension, feel that pressure start creeping up their spine, they don't flinch. They don't fold. They don't go looking for a back door. They stand up straighter. They roll their shoulders. They take a breath and walk into it. You hear me? Into it. With purpose, with power, like they were built for it, 'cause they were. You think diamonds are born in calm and quiet. No, diamonds come from fire. Come from heat, pressure, time. You want that shine? Then you better learn to live in the furnace. The truth is, growth doesn't come wrapped in comfort. Comfort feels good, but it don't make you better. Comfort whispers sweet nothings, tells you, it's okay, stay here, stay safe. But nothing grows in a place that only knows ease. You don't build muscle lifting feathers. You build it when it burns, when it shakes, when you want to quit, but you keep going. Mentally strong people, they understand that. They know discomfort is not the enemy. It's the assignment. They've trained their minds to lean into the challenge, not away from it. Because discomfort is the gym where greatness trains. Every rep of pain, every moment of confusion, every setback, it's all part of the process. They don't pray for the storm to stop. They pray for the strength to stand in the middle of it. You see, discomfort is like that uninvited guest that shows up when you start moving different, when you choose better, when you decide to rise. It knocks on your door the moment you step outside your comfort zone, and you gotta make a decision. Do you open up, let it in, and learn from it? Or do you deadbolt the door, stay inside, and wonder why life ain't changing? People think being strong means always knowing what to do, always having it figured out. Nah, being strong means not knowing, and still showing up, still trying, still pushing. Even when your knees are shaking, your voice is cracking, your heart's tired. You want to start that business? Discomfort will meet you on day one. You want to walk away from that toxic relationship? Discomfort will hold your hand all the way out the door. You want to change your body, your habits, your mindset? Then you better believe discomfort's going to show up like a coach you didn't ask for, loud, relentless, and always in your ear. But here's the thing, the ones who become mentally strong, they don't fight discomfort. They befriend it. They sit with it. They say, what are you here to teach me? And then they listen. They know that every time it hurts, every time it's hard, they're growing roots, deep ones, roots that can hold up a tree even when the winds try to rip it out the ground, because storms will come. Oh, trust that. But when you've lived through discomfort, when you've trained in the fire, you don't panic in the storm. You remember who you are. You ever see somebody walk through chaos calm? Not because it ain't hard, but because they've been here before. That's what discomfort gives you. History. You don't second guess your strength when you've already bled for it. You don't doubt your worth when you've suffered to become it. And I know, it's not easy. It's gonna stretch you. It's gonna break some parts of you that weren't meant to stay. It's gonna strip away the excuses, the ego, the lies you've been telling yourself. But that's the point. Discomfort is a sculptor. And you're the marble. Let it chisel you. Let it carve out the greatness that's been hiding underneath all that fear. Because the version of you that's on the other side of this pain, they're stronger, wiser, unshakable. But you'll never meet them if you keep turning back every time it hurts. So here's what you do. Next time that resistance shows up, next time you feel like quitting, next time it feels like your mind's about to cave in, smile. Yeah, smile. Because that moment right there, that's where it happens. That's where strength is born. Not in comfort, not in ease, in chaos, in the fire, in the pressure. So go ahead, take the step, make the move, say yes to the hard thing, and when it gets rough, and it will get rough, don't ask why it's happening to you, ask what it's building in you. Because every time you choose discomfort on purpose, every time you don't run from the pain, you add another layer to your armor, another brick to your foundation. You don't just survive discomfort, you become something through it. And that's the kind of strong nobody can take from you. Alright, let me take you somewhere real for a minute. Words, man, people don't understand the weight of They throw words around like paper, like they don't leave marks. But let me tell you something, your words, they're tools. They can build a bridge, or they can burn the whole thing down. They can lift somebody out the dirt, or bury them 6 feet deeper. And the way mentally strong people use their words, that's no accident. That's intentional. Every syllable, every breath, it's purpose. See, most folks, they talk defeat before they even start. They look at a mountain and say, I can't climb that. They look at their dream and whisper, it's too far. But the ones who are strong in the mind, they speak life, they speak hope, they speak victory, even when all they see is chaos. You ever notice how some people walk into a room and change the temperature just by how they talk? That ain't luck, that's mindset. They're not louder, they're just clearer. They speak like they believe what they're saying. And when you believe what you say, the world starts to listen different. Opportunities start leaning in. Doors that were closed start unlocking. Why? Because mentally strong people have learned the power of the tongue. You don't speak just to fill silence. You speak to shape your world. Now listen, life's gonna give you a lot of reasons to stay quiet. Fear gonna creep in, make your voice shaky. Doubt gonna knock at your chest, try to shut your mouth. But the strong, they speak anyway, even when it's hard, even when they're scared. They speak faith in the face of fear. They don't let the storm change their voice. They let their voice calm the storm. You think that's just poetry? Nah, that's survival. Because your words, they're like seeds. What you plant is what's gonna grow. You keep saying I'm not good enough. I always mess up. No one believes in me. Guess what? That's the crop you're watering. That's what you'll see when you look in the mirror. That's what you'll feel when you wake up in the morning. But if you start saying I've got this, I'm built for this, I'm not done yet, I'm rising, even if I stumble, now you're planting something else, now you're building something strong, now you're feeding your future. Mentally strong people, they don't wait to feel confident before they speak it. They speak confidence until it becomes their reality. They know that the mouth is a weapon, and they use it wisely. They ain't out here throwing shade, spreading negativity, pulling others down to feel tall. No, they speak light, even in dark places. You ever hear somebody speak so much doubt, you can feel your chest get heavy just being around them? That's the weight of words. But when a strong mind steps into the room, starts talking vision, starts talking growth, the whole atmosphere shifts. That's no accident. That's mastery. And it ain't just about the words you speak to others. It's about what you say to yourself when no one's around. When you look in the mirror after a loss. When your plan crumbles, when the people you counted on disappear, what are you saying then? Are you speaking death, or are you speaking life? Because mentally strong people, they don't let failure write the script. They don't let fear narrate the story. They take the mic back and say, I'm not finished. I've still got fire left. This ain't how my story ends. And let me be real. It's a practice. It don't happen overnight. You gotta train your tongue. You gotta catch yourself when that doubt starts slipping out your mouth. You gotta flip it. Turn I can't into I will. Turn this is too hard into this is molding me. Turn I'm not ready into I'm preparing every day. Because your future, it's listening. And if you keep speaking like you already lost, don't be surprised when your life starts looking like a losing game. But if you start declaring something different, even if it's just a whisper at first, that whisper can grow into a war cry. And one day, that voice you trained in the shadows, it's gonna echo in places you ain't even stepped into yet. So start now. Don't wait to feel perfect. Don't wait till the conditions are right. Start speaking life like your dreams depend on it. Because they do. Speak vision. Speak discipline. Speak resilience. Tell yourself, I am not my past. I am not their opinions. I am not my worst day. You are a builder. You are a survivor. You are stronger than they know. maybe even stronger than you know. But that strength, it needs your words. It needs your voice. Every single day you wake up, you got a choice. You can speak defeat, or you can speak destiny. And I hope you choose destiny. I hope you speak like your soul's got something to say. Because it does. It's been waiting on you. So speak life, and then go live it. Alright, let's lock in now. No distractions, no noise. Just you and me, and some truth that needs to be said. See, we live in a world where people hand out access to themselves like it's on discount. Everybody wants to be liked. Everybody wants to be available. Everybody wants to say yes to everything, to everyone. But mentally strong people, they move different. They walk through life with intention, not desperation. They know the cost of their peace, and they protect it like it's sacred, because it is. You don't let just anyone walk through your mind with muddy shoes. You hear what I'm saying? You don't let people in who ain't earned the right to be there. Your time, your energy, your heart, that's real estate, valuable. And strong minds don't give out keys to folks who bring nothing but drama, doubt, and distraction. See, boundaries ain't about being mean. Boundaries are about being clear. Clear about what you will and won't tolerate. Clear about where your energy goes. Clear about who gets to sit at your table, and who needs to eat outside. Now let me tell you something about people. Some of them, they'll test you. Oh yeah, they'll push and pull, and guilt trip you into giving more than you have. They'll take your kindness and turn it into currency. Trade your time for their convenience. But mentally strong people, they see that game from a mile away. They don't play it, because they know every yes to something that drains you is a no to something that could grow you. Let that sink in. You say yes to that person who always calls just to complain. That's time you could have used to work on your dream. You say yes to every invite, every favor, every little thing someone throws your way. And now you're exhausted, scattered, running on fumes. That ain't strength, that's burnout, dressed up like people pleasing. And the mentally strong, they don't burn out for nobody. They say no. They say I can't do that today. They say that doesn't align with what I'm building. And they don't apologize for it. Why? Because their mission is bigger than your comfort. Because their peace is too expensive to bargain with. You gotta understand, your energy, your attention, your mental clarity, that stuff is gold. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't fight battles and build dreams. At the same time, if everybody has access to you 24/7, strong minds, they know how to unplug, how to walk away, how to go silent when needed. Not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. They don't explain their boundaries to people who are committed to misunderstanding them. They don't chase approval. They don't shrink their light just to make someone else comfortable in the dark. And let me tell you, it's not always easy. Sometimes setting boundaries means losing people. Sometimes it means being called selfish. Sometimes it means standing alone. But alone don't mean broken. Alone don't mean wrong. Sometimes alone is where you find your focus again. Sometimes alone is where the healing happens, where you hear your own voice without the noise, where your soul speaks up and reminds you who you are, and who you're not. See, mentally strong people don't build walls, they build fortresses, not to lock people out, but to guard what's sacred inside. They open the gate when it's right, they close it when it's necessary, and they don't feel guilty for either. They don't entertain toxicity just to keep the peace, because real peace don't come from fake harmony. They'll love you, and still leave you behind, if your presence costs too much. They've learned the hard way. They've been giving too much, bending too far, breaking just to keep someone else whole. And now they move with discernment. Now they know how to walk away with grace, not bitterness. They ain't cold. They just no longer set themselves on fire to keep others warm. And if that makes them misunderstood, so be it. Because they'd rather be misunderstood and free than understood and trapped. Strong minds, they don't answer every text. They don't attend every argument. They don't show up just to prove their loyalty to people who never earned it. Their loyalty is sacred. Their space is sacred. And they protect it. You ever meet someone who just has this calm about them? Not 'cause life is easy. Not 'cause people are perfect. But because they've mastered the art of saying, I'm not entertaining that energy today. That's mental strength. And let me say this too. Boundaries aren't just about people. Sometimes you gotta set boundaries with yourself. You gotta cut off your own habits that steal your peace. The scrolling, the procrastination, the late nights filled with nothing but noise. Mentally strong people, they know how to say no to their own distractions. They know how to draw the line between growth and comfort. They ain't perfect, but they're disciplined. And discipline, is the highest form of self-respect. So if you're sitting there wondering why you feel drained, lost, stretched too thin, ask yourself, who's walking through your mind without permission? What have you been letting in that don't belong? What have you been saying yes to, that deep down you know is stealing your peace? You want to protect your spirit? You want to think clearer, breathe deeper, sleep better? Then you better learn to protect your space like it's all you've got. 'Cause in the end, it is. Your peace is your power. Your boundaries are your armor. Your clarity is your compass. So protect it, honor it, guard it with everything you've got. Not because you're cold, not because you're selfish, but because you finally learned what your soul is worth. And once you know that, you don't negotiate with chaos anymore. You walk like a fortress, built strong, built steady, built for purpose. All right, come close. Let me talk to that part of you that's been knocked down, that part of you that's sitting in silence, feeling like you gave it all and still came up short. Yeah, I'm talking to you, because there's something you need to hear, and hear it clear. Failure, it ain't the end, it's the beginning. You fall down? Good. Now you know what the ground feels like. Now you've got a foundation. Now you've got a place to push off from. See, the strong ones, they don't run from failure. They walk right into it, face first, chin up, and they let it teach them. Let it break them open in all the right places. Let it peel back the ego, strip away the fluff, and show them who they really are. You know what failure is? It's feedback. It's correction. It's direction in disguise. You thought that door was yours? It wasn't. You thought that plan was perfect? It wasn't. But failure, it don't say you're not enough. It says not like this. It says not yet. It says not them. But you're still in the game. Strong minds, they don't take a hit and stay on the mat. They take the hit, feel it, bleed from it, and then they analyze it. What did I miss? What did I need? What do I change next time? They don't waste a wound. They study it. You ever see someone take a loss and come back smarter, come back sharper, come back hungrier? That's strength. That's what failure does, when you face it with the right mindset. But too many folks out here acting like failure is fatal. Like it's a full stop. Like once you lose, you're done. Nah, failure ain't a period. It's a comma. It's a pause. A plot twist. But the story keeps going. If you keep writing it. And I know it hurts. You give your heart to something. You pour your soul into it. You pray. You grind. You sacrifice. And it still falls apart. That'll break a lesser person. But not you. Not the one who's chosen to grow. Not the one who knows failure ain't a curse. It's a class. Every no you ever got, every door that slammed in your face, every time you thought, this is it, and it wasn't. All of that was molding you, shaping you, not into who you thought you were, but into who you're supposed to be. Strong minds, they don't avoid the fire. They use it. They get burned. But they don't sit in the ashes. They rise, and when they do, they come back with experience, with wisdom, with that unteachable edge. That's why I tell you, don't hide your failure. Don't run from it. Don't bury it deep and act like it didn't happen. Bring it into the light. Unpack it. Learn it. Own it. Because once you own it, it can't own you. You lost money? Good. Now you understand risk. You got rejected? Good. Now you know what you value. You trusted the wrong people? Good. Now your radar's sharper. Everything you've been through, it wasn't for nothing. It was training. Life was testing your roots, seeing how deep they go, seeing if you were building a tent or a temple, and if you're still standing, still breathing, still got even a spark left in you, then you ain't finished. You're learning, you're evolving, you're becoming, and I get it. The world don't always celebrate that. People only want to clap when you win, only want to post about the trophies, the medals, the highlights. But the strong, they don't need applause to keep going. They don't need recognition to grow. They celebrate in private. They cry. They scream. They fight. And then they rebuild. See, you don't become wise from books alone. You don't become a warrior by avoiding the battlefield. You don't become great by winning easy fights. You become strong through scars. Every cut, every bruise, every try again. That's what separates the average from the excellent. You want to be exceptional? Then stop fearing the fall. Fall forward. Fall with purpose. Fall with your fists clenched. and your eyes open. Because strong people, they don't just bounce back. They come back better, more focused, more refined, more dangerous. That failure that tried to break you, it just woke up a version of you that success never could. And let me say this, if you failed lately, good. That means you're in the arena. That means you're trying. You're stretching. You're doing something. Most folks, they play it safe. They never try hard enough to fail. And they live in a box built from fear and comfort. But not you. You got knocked down? All right. Now get back up. Take the lesson with you. Not the shame. The lesson. You carry that. You build with that. And next time, you'll move different. Stronger, wiser, quieter, but deadly. And when you win, and you will, you'll know it wasn't luck. It wasn't chance. It was the result of every painful, humbling, soul-shaking thing that came before. You learned from it. You earned it. And that kind of victory, no one can take that from you. Ever. All right. Let's cut the noise. Let's clear the smoke. Let's get to it. Real talk. See, everybody want to win. Everybody talking about dreams. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna build that. But when it's time to sit down, get quiet, lock it, that's when folks disappear. But not the strong ones. Not the focused ones. Not the ones who move with mission. Because when you've got a vision, I'm talking real vision, not some surface level wit, the world starts to look different. You stop chasing every shiny thing. You stop explaining yourself to people who ain't even qualified to judge the journey. You stop showing up just to be seen. Now, you show up to build, to execute, to deliver. You move in silence not because you're hiding, but because you're too busy doing the work. You ain't got time for every comment, every invitation, every little distraction dressed up like opportunity. You learn to say no to the noise, because you said yes to the mission. And that mission, that's not just a job. That's not a side hustle. That's purpose. That's the reason you wake up when you don't feel like it. That's the reason you keep going, even when it ain't paying off yet. That's the reason you show up when nobody's clapping. See, mentally strong people, they don't chase applause. They don't chase trends. They ain't in it for the likes, the shares, the followers. They're in it for impact. They're in it for legacy, because they understand fame fades, hype fades, but purpose stands tall. So while everybody else is getting caught up in who's watching, they're busy working. While everybody else is feeding their ego, they're feeding the vision. They stay locked in, dialed in, focused. Now let me tell you something about focus. It's not just about saying yes to the right things. It's about saying no to the wrong ones. Even when they look good, even when they sound sweet, even when they come wrapped in comfort. Strong minds, they don't fall for every vibe. They don't jump on every train. They know where they're going, so they don't get distracted by where everybody else is headed. They got blinders on, not because they're ignorant, but because they're locked in. You see, when you've got a mission, a real mission, you stop entertaining nonsense. You stop picking fights that don't grow you. You stop chasing people who ain't chasing purpose. You become surgical with your time, precise with your energy. You understand that every minute wasted is momentum lost. And let's be real, focus is hard. We live in a world full of noise. Every screen, every scroll, every headline, it's designed to pull you out of your zone, make you doubt yourself, compare yourself, distract yourself. But the strong ones, they train their mind like a soldier. They choose discipline over dopamine. They don't let emotions steer the ship. They let mission guide the way. You think greatness happens by accident. You think legends are born in comfort. Nah, they're forged in the fire of repetition. They're molded by routine. They're built in the lab when nobody's watching. And while the crowd is sleeping, they're studying, they're lifting, they're practicing, they're getting ready. So when the light hits them, they don't flinch, they don't stutter, they deliver. Because they already saw this moment in their mind. They already rehearsed it in the dark. They already put in the reps when it was just them and the grind. That's focus. You don't need outside noise to validate your purpose. You validate it every day with discipline. Every morning you get up and move the needle, even a little bit. Every night you lay your head down, knowing you gave it all. That's how you win. Not with hype, not with big talk, but with quiet, relentless, focused execution. And don't get it twisted. Focus don't mean you never doubt. It don't mean you never get tired. It don't mean the path is always clear. It means that despite the doubt, despite the obstacles, despite the setbacks, You keep your eyes on the mission. You choose to stay centered. You choose to trust the process. You choose to show up, even when the results ain't showing up yet. Because the strong, they play the long game. They don't fold just 'cause it's slow. They don't panic just 'cause it's quiet. They know, a seed don't grow the day it's planted. It grows when it's watered, nurtured, protected, and focused energy. That's water for your dream. You keep pouring, you keep grinding, you keep protecting the vision from distractions, from negativity, from anything that ain't in alignment. And soon you look up, and that little seed, it's a tree. And the same folks who didn't see the process, now they want to eat the fruit. But that's all right. You didn't do it for them. You did it 'cause it was in you. You did it 'cause the mission chose you. You did it 'cause you knew, if you didn't lock in, nobody else would do it for you. So now, you stay focused, eyes forward, feet grounded, heart steady, because greatness don't ask for permission. It don't wait for applause. It just shows up, every single day. And that's what the strong do. They lock in, and they never let go.